new moon actually is pretty special, at least in my books, because it's unusual that 5 planets in the sky are in their own sign of rulership. I'm talking about the moon in Cancer, Mercury in Gemini, Mars is still in Aries, Saturn is still in Aquarius, and not to mention that Neptune is still in its home sign in Pisces. But however, this new moon, I find it pretty explosive. This is because the new moon actually, to the degree, squares that Jupiter in Aries, and the ruler of Jupiter, which is Mars, is in a very tight square with Pluto, hence the explosiveness of energy. And Mars is also applying to square Pluto as well. Applying aspects are still building in terms of its intensity, and hence that. And since this new moon is to the degree squaring that Jupiter, I've also looked into the ACG or astrocartography over this new moon. And Jupiter is actually culminating, which means that it's at its highest point in the sky in Russia, in Middle East, and surrounding countries. And this can be talking about energy or resource-related conflicts and wars going on pertaining to their place in order to secure their place. I mean, as we know that, how expensive, natural gas and petrol or diesel are right now. So this can be further like exaggerating Jupiter, that situation. And who can be the winner who takes it all, which is that Aries energy. And then the ruler is also in Aries, which is Mars, squaring Pluto. So it's like the winner takes it all. Who can be what does this describe? Ninja warrior? Like who can really, at the end, take it all? There's this kind of like grabbing energy, like who can actually be the ultimate survivor, of the situation. There's something going on in Russia and Middle East. And Jupiter is also on the anti-culmination point, which means the lowest point in the chart, over the places such as the east coast of Canada and the east coast of USA. This can actually tell me that this can hint at some kind of natural disasters or geoseismic activities over there. Because Jupiter is in the 4th house, which is like the land surrounding it. There may be like the land is, Jupiter is to like have something, explode. That's one of the things I get. And then the ruler of that Jupiter is squaring Pluto, even more something brewing from the ground up. Or maybe it can be something to do with like oil drilling as well. There's something to do with that. Over the east coast of Canada and USA. And Jupiter is also rising, that means on the ascendant, rising over Brazil. So it's telling me that this Cancer new moon can be something to do with significant developments that's being seeded pertaining to the political infighting or struggles that is leading up to the general election that's taking place in Brazil on 2nd of October 2022, which is Libra season. And where is the sun in terms of position when 2nd of October 2022 happens? 8 degrees of Libra, which is squaring that new moon point and also opposing that Jupiter's position. So something's going on there. People in Brazil, please put, in the comment section what's going on over this new moon in Cancer. And Jupiter is setting, which is on its 7th house cusp, over the country Australia. What this is telling me is that this can manifest as the formation of a new government, since Australia just had a federal election and is undergoing a massive change or transition after 9 years of the coalition. So friends who are watching this in Australia, please put in the comments below, tell me more what's going on, because I can only read so much news before I go crazy.
I have a little bit, but it's amazing coverage. Well done, sir. I have a little bit to say again, but I want to say it in a little bit of a rapid fire kind of way here, because I think Donny mentioned everything important that we have, like the influences in play. For me, one of the key things here is that they're extremely exact, almost by the minute freaking square of the new moon and Jupiter itself. So when I look at this, and when I was looking at this, what will happen, let's say globally, more or mundane level, is extreme patriotism I see happening here. It's just like people being really rah patriotism, nationalism I see happening here, unfortunately. Be the judge of if this is good or bad. I like the golden middle road more so. I don't like the extremes specifically. So especially in Europe, I do see this happening. And what I do see happening is military spending, border protection, like police spending, all of these types of, we need to protect the land, we need to protect ourselves, we need to put boundaries up. Again, guys, we're going with this, with what is happening in Aries, but remember, Cancer is a lot about protection. It's a lot about also boundaries. So I see this being in the news, bills announced. We're going to be putting that much money into police, military, machines, these types of things. And, I do see the people just calling for it as well. And the fear, and again, especially a little bit more in Europe, is there. So it's kind of like yearned for, desired, or wanted, and like the negative side of this is, I unfortunately do see the kind of like nationalistic behavior happening in mostly Europe. It can happen in other places as well. Defense systems I mentioned here as well. Military action to protect. I put here about those, let's say, global things, more of that energy there. Now, on a personal level, or on personal manifestations, be careful with those overflowing emotions. Now, Cancer can be, let's say, holding it on very tightly for a long period and then bursting out. This is a very, very Cancerian, unfortunately, trait. And with this, we can a little bit bring in Mars as well. It's still a sign-based square, exact square with Jupiter, just building up, and then just unloading to other people and towards other people. It can happen. Obviously, it can just be crying, and you're releasing things there as well. And remember, guys, I think every new moon, I think we're recording this even during a new moon, or yeah, very close to it. And it's like when the energy builds up, especially a couple of days, you can already subconsciously and consciously feel something needs to leave, something needs to release in order to give way to this new beginning, new start. And it's very common for us humans to tightly grip and hold on to the things that we most likely should be releasing. And I do see a lot of that possibility here as well, especially with this Cancer. Although later on, is Cancer still a cardinal sign, can I think release a little bit easier than, let's say, maybe a Scorpio. So release as well, and be on the lookout for this type of like passive aggressive behavior. Like, I'm holding on to emotions, feelings. I have these feelings inside of me. I have the shell over me, and I think like the other people need to know what I'm feeling and what I'm experiencing, actually what I'm desiring from them. But that's the maybe a little bit of an immature Cancer way of